Leadership family, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Restoring the Breach podcast. I'm your host, Greg, and I live to help unlock the leadership potential inside of you. Now, as you can see, I'm solo dolo. I don't have my beautiful wife, Cachet, here with me today, but I'm excited because we have some new things that we're going to be releasing. And one of those things is my new book, The Men's Project, The 5 Focus Areas of Building Men, will be out soon. And so I'm excited, man. We're really going to be taking the two worlds of men and leadership and bringing them together. And you may say, Greg, man, there's so many guru books out there talking about this type of stuff. But I'm telling you, God has really given me something that's practical, relatable, but generation and life changing. I think any man, woman, boy, or girl can pick this up and find themselves in one of these focus areas. And over this series of talks that we're going to be having this season on the pod, I got some guests, man, some people that are really near and dear to me that are going to be unlocking and untapping some of their experiences. Some of that stuff is entrepreneurship, how to be a husband, how to be a son, what's it like to not have a great relationship with your father, what it's like to have great representation of what it's like to be a man and a parent in your household. Dealing with mental health. There's so many different components that we're going to be tackling, man. How to carry out vision. I got so much to give you guys, but you got to tune in. It's going to be exciting. But today I want to talk about me. I want to lay out the genesis of Greg because before I wrote a word down, it was something that God was beginning to work and build and restore inside of me. I am a guy that's been in ministry, have operated in leadership roles since I was a child, probably 5 or 6 years old, man. I was slaying out on the altar at church, but I served in the youth choir, on the worship team, became an ordained minister, fine arts minister, which was the coordinator of programming. And I did that alongside my wife, as well as with some really awesome friends, still dear friends till this day. And then I worked outside of the church in social service, dealing with family court, watching how the workforce development arena impacts the lives of men. And some of the things that I felt that were vitally important, 2 things in particular that stood out to me was, number one, the power that us as men wield in our homes and in our communities. And the second thing was how ignorant and lacking, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but lacking the understanding of how much power and impact we can have on others. And when I say others, I'm talking about the relationships that we have with our spouses and with our children and those that are in our community. And that's what I live for, man. I live to really help men get a new lens on life, not to be distracted by the things that are around, but how can you be the thermostat in every environment you step in, and not just the thermometer taking the temperature, for lack of better terms. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about the principles that we're sharing, man. Some of the practices that we're sharing. I'm excited about how we can look at life in a different perspective. I'll be transparent. One of the key areas that I talk about in this book is the heart area. When I came into marriage, I thought I had it together. I thought I had a good grip. So I didn't think I knew everything, but I thought I was well prepared. And lo and behold, marriage was a mirror for me to see myself. But I was able to dive deep into my flaws. And I'll get to the flaw. I want to circle back. The depth of that problem that I had in my heart area started in childhood. I began to recognize that although I came from a 2-parent household, I had a marriage in front of me. I was able to see 2 people committed to this relationship and raise a family together. What I didn't see was a father who showed affection to his wife, a man who was intentional about extracting the gifts out of his children and asking them questions, trying to figure out what it is that makes them tick, helping us work through those emotional issues that we may be facing as we're coming up through adolescence, or even getting the principles to walk into marriage, preparing me to be a man, and identifying some of those strategies that could make me more successful. What I did get was a father who was present, was a father who provided, was a father who showed me how to be a disciplinarian. But I was able to see that he, like myself, we both were products of our own environment, of our upbringing. We didn't see those things. So I was at least a third generation of men not getting those examples. And so in marriage, man, I was exposed. I was laid out on the operating table, and I had an opportunity to allow God to perform heart surgery on me. And so, although the vertical relationship was very important to me, because as I said, from 5 or 6 years old, I grew up in church. Everything was about ministry, man. I spent, as they say, 8 days a week in church. But stepping into a relationship, I needed some work on that horizontal. I needed some work on how I could connect with my wife and meet her love languages and step outside of myself to be able to show someone affection in a way that I don't receive it. Those were stretching points for me. And I think as men, oftentimes we struggle in these areas, especially if no one's around to say, hey, have you considered these things? Have you considered the rough patch or the friction or tension that you and your spouse are dealing with right now being a direct result of some of the things that you're not doing? Have you identified what role you may play in being able to heal and restore this? Because again, I was able to see as men, man, we have power to restore. We have power to lift up. We have power to help build up our wives and our children in ways that you can never imagine. And so those are things I'm excited about, man. I'm excited about men being able to be not just better men, but being kingdom focused, but being purposeful, just doing life well, practical living well. Yeah, we dive into a lot of spiritual things, but sometimes we often look over just how do we live right? How do we balance our time? Because time is currency. Time is money. And if we give our time or our money away, we're bankrupt. And so I live to teach men, man, you got to find ways to invest your currency, that time, that you may get a return. I want to invest in my time and my children that down the line I get a 10, 15, 20, 100, 200%, 200-fold return. And so those are just basic practical things I think as men it's important that we talk about. And we're going to be getting into that over these sessions. It's going to be life-changing for you guys. It's going to be exciting. The book is available for pre-order now. You got to get it. It's going to be launching in just a few short weeks. So you want to grab your copy. You want to get it. Check out our page. You can put your order in on gccoleman.com. I'll make sure I put those links in the video. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really exciting. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to be transparent, allowing me to share a little bit about myself. And if you find yourself in any of these spaces, if you know somebody that could benefit from this, man, share, spread the word around. I guarantee it'll be well worth it. All right. So looking forward to talking to you guys later. Take care and God bless.
Hey, before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video.